today being the MC for the Liquor Breakfast, which is honoring Louis and Rochelle Soroka. Some of you might not know that we, Rochelle, my wife, and I, are the Soroka's neighbors. Our backyards are adjacent to each other. Well, actually, our moderately sized backyard is adjacent to a part of the very large. But I'm sure all of you that at my age and after years of psychotherapy have overcome my backyard envy. I'm reminded of a quote of C.K. Chesterton. We make our friends, we make our enemies, but God makes our next door neighbor. Well, I can truly say that by virtue of having the Sorokas for neighbors, God has been very good to my family. And God has been very kind to our community in Plainview for their having decided to settle in our midst. You know, with the new Chumrah being proclaimed almost weekly, I recently bought a bag of coleslaw with 5 hashtakas on it. I kid you not, 5. And I think I understand why it has to be an odd number, because if 2 people disagree, you have to have the tiebreaker, which is definitely probably the most responsible of the job. I wonder if a bag of coleslaw needs 5 hashtakas, how many I needed for a hamburger? Probably 301. At any rate, with all these homers, it's interesting to note that as far as I know, there have been no chumras proclaimed regarding Menschlichkeit, Ahavas Chinam, which reportedly is the antidote to Sinat Chinam, which has placed us in this 2,000-year ballot, or, as far as I know, no chumra for common sense. So as a neighbor of the Soroka family, I can vouch that with or without such a chumrah, the Sorokas are very mafia in these qualities, and have been and are a voice of reason. And that is no doubt why there is this wonderful turnout here this morning. Can you hear me? First base. Have you ever had where your voice is like 2 seconds after what you say? It's very confusing. All right, I'll go back to the beginning. The Sorokas are Lichva family breakfast honorees. Their family moved to Plainview in 1992. Upon their arrival to the community, they immediately immersed themselves, get the metaphor? They immediately immersed themselves in providing service to communal causes. The Young Israel of Plainview, Hank, and the Mikvah. For example, Louis has served as president of the Young Israel. His steady hand guided our shul through the most difficult of times. And to paraphrase an old joke, whereas the President of the United States is the President of about 300 million people, Louis was the President of about 300 presidents. Rochelle was a past President of the Mikvah Association and is currently serving as the Shomeret on Friday nights and Yom Tov. I would like to end with a word that I heard last week while davening at the Karlbach Shul. I'm here on a break between Shabbos and Musaf. As you know, last week we observed Rosh Chodesh Iyar. That Shlomo referred to the month of Iyar as the month of second chances. Pesach Sheni occurs every year, exactly 1 year after Passover. The historical purpose of this day was for those who were unable to bring the Passover sacrifice on the correct day had a second chance to do so. The theme of the holiday is second chances. Also, if you look at the Roshei Tevot of the word ER, Aleph, two Nuns, and a Resh, it could be an acronym for Ani Hashem Refoecha. Until recently, the month of Adar was devoid of any holidays except for Pesach Sheni. But true to the theme of this month, Hashem has given us Am Yisrael second chances. On the 5th day of Iyar, we celebrated Yom HaAtzmaut, commemorating the rebirth of the state of Israel. Coincidence? In a couple of weeks, on the 27th day of Iyar, we will be celebrating Yom Yerushalayim, marking the reunification of Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. Another coincidence? And is it a mere coincidence that we are celebrating our mikveh breakfast during the month of Iyar? Because the mikveh really signifies a rebirth and purification. Are all these coincidences? Well, Albert Einstein wrote, "Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous." Now, I would like to introduce Sam Soroka, who will sing the national anthem.